students who had X with their teachers. At what point did your relationship turn physical? How do you feel about it now? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will sleep in a trailer. After I graduated HS, I saw my history teacher at a bar and he bought me a drink, took me back to his place and we fricked. I snuck out the next morning and I haven't heard from him since. How was it? Historic. After graduation, I hooked up with my old history teacher a few times. I frequently would watch his daughter when he had to work late. I was invited to go camping with the two of them. Let's have a drink to celebrate the beginning of summer. Changed quickly. I ended it very abruptly when his daughter started calling me mom. That's usually a good tip off to get the frick out. Unless you're trying to mum some kids. My girlfriend in high school had sisters that were like 3. After a while they asked if they could call me daddy. Broke my heart to tell them no. When I was 17 I got the chance to go to school in the States, born in Greenland, and so I had a senior year here. The English teacher had just gotten the job there according to the other kids my age. But what happened was I needed help just speaking and learning English better. So, she said she'd help me out. I'd come in after school and we'd do the flashcard BS and eventually she started asking me what I thought about American girls and if I prefer blondes, brunettes and etc. Questions slowly got more personal until she gave me her phone number, told me to call her at 8 and she'll have plans. I was confused as hell, but when I got to her house my other head took over the thinking. PS if I messed up any grammar please excuse it, I didn't pay a lot of attention during the lessons. I had X with a high school guidance counselor, but I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Yep. Details. A couple I know met as teacher, M, and student, F, at graduate school. According to her, she didn't ask him out until after the grades were in. According to him, she needed an A. But it's my dad, so he's probably kidding. 10 out of 10 last sentence. Hey son, you know what else? She got the D. Haha, get it? Because D means dong. And what? And you're adopted. I had X with my high school gym teacher after I graduated. I was really overweight and just not pleasant to look at in high school, but I had a huge crush on him. After graduation I lost weight and looked him up on Facebook. I said we should meet up for dinner so we did. I told him I used to have a gigantic crush on him, which he didn't believe. He said I should go to his place for dinner sometime, and of course I was all for it. I get there and he made a pizza and we had some beer. Then watched TV on the couch for what seemed like an eternity, just talking and joking. That led to cuddling and when my hand was on his dong. He led me to the bedroom and we proceeded to have some of the best sex I've ever had in my life. Since then he's texted me randomly wanting more. We've exchanged pictures and videos and sometimes called each other for the big go, but never got together again. Conquest complete. Congrats on losing weight. Seems to have been a win-win situation for you. Not a teacher, but a teacher's assistant. I was a junior in college and she was in her first year of grad school, doubling as a TA. So basically larger classes were always split into smaller sections that had to meet once a week outside of the normal class period. Anyways, I was always pulling solid grades, sat in the front, and would respond to her questions. I later found out that she hated public speaking and was always nervous when she stood in front of our section, so she really appreciated my participation. Plus I was always making jokes and she liked the funny ones. I go to her office hours one day, she helps me out with the paper I was doing and we go eat afterwards. We talked mostly about school and career goals, but also some stuff about the difficulties of dating. And then we go get drinks. And then she was getting way flirty and touching my arms and legs. I end up walking her to her apartment building. She tells me to come up and have a nightcap with her. Halfway through she asks if I'm ever gonna make a move. I put down my drink, leaned over and kissed her. We wound up having X shortly after and we kept it up for the rest of the school year. And yes, I got an A in the class. She got the D. You got it in the A in class? Well, at least he enjoyed the D. He got an A getting the T and A from the T. This is the type of it that seems like a movie to me. It would envy happen in real life, because I probably wouldn't have a condom on me and I ain't trying to take that risk. Most of my teachers have fricked me. The academic version of all my exes have been crazy. I'm a male faculty member at a community college. About 7 years ago I had this student in my introduction class. She was inquisitive, motivated, and very attractive. I usually give my students nicknames, secretly, as a device to help me remember them. And I remember writing on my attendance sheet Jasmine, because she looked just like the Disney princess. I was always very professional and careful to treat her like any other student so she didn't feel uncomfortable, as I was sure she might feel that way around the other drooling males. Well, she easily earned an A in the course and we left for summer break. Fall semester starts up and she is in my advanced level class. She sits in the front row and again was one of the top students in the class. She was also one of the slowest students to pack up her belongings after each session. So we usually walked out together casually talking about the exciting parts of the lesson. About week 13 out of 15, she approaches me and tells me that she has a question she needs to ask, and if she can meet with me for 5 minutes or so. I was careful to meet only in public on campus because of the great stigma between attractive students and their professors. We met on a bench and she professed that she liked me and wanted to go on a date. I refused politely and stammered something about school policy, despite every molecule on my body chastising me for rejecting. After the class we became friends on Facebook, and she had recently taken some modeling photos and posted them on her profile. Welp. That was too much for me and I sank into despair, wondering if I made a mistake in choosing my career over the perfect partner. Then, over the break she emailed thanking me for the class. I immediately emailed back, doling out praise to her. She then immediately emailed me back saying that she left the college and enrolled in the university. We met up and had our first date not long after. We're currently married and have been together for almost 7 years. She is the best thing to happen to me and I'd have quit my job had I known what life would be like. However, now I have both. I feel then being a professor was what impressed her, because she is out of my league. Education pays. What's the age gap? I was 25 then, she was 19. Now I'm 32, 26, or something cute. Instead of I was abused, I'm an abuser. Uni professor. Saw this guy on Grindr when I lived on campus and thought his body looked pretty hot. Messaged him, said he was a prof on campus so I had to send my pic first. Found out the DPT he taught in, and it was mine. Sent my picture on the promise he would. Sent it. Says he never realized I was bi, and he always thought I was fit. Sent his. Says bring a towel and meet at X office in 15 minutes. Met in his office. Sucked me off. Fricked him. Start of a great FWB relationship. Says bring a towel. Is this some kind of code word? They're going hitchhiking. Just about the most massively useful thing any interstellar hitchhiker can carry. Partly it has great practical value. You can wrap it around you for warmth as you bound across the cold moons of Jargal and Beta. You can lie on it on the brilliant marble sanded beaches of Santragenus V, inhaling the heady sea vapors. You can sleep under it beneath the stars which shine so redly on the desert world of Kakrafoon. Use it to sail a mini-raft down the slow heavy river Moth. Wet it for use in hand-to-hand combat. Wrap it round your heads to ward off noxious fumes or avoid the gaze of the ravenous bug bladder beast of Tra. L. A mind-bogglingly stupid animal. It assumes that if you can't see it, it can't see you. Daft as a brush, but very very ravenous. You can wave your towel in emergencies as a distress signal. And of course you can dry yourself off with it if it still seems to be clean enough. More importantly, a towel has immense psychological value. For some reason, if a non-hitchhiker, discovers that a hitchhiker has his towel with him, he will automatically assume that he is also in possession of a toothbrush, washcloth, soap, tin of biscuits, flask, compass, map, ball of string, gnat spray, wet, weather gear, spacesuit etc. etc. Furthermore, the strag will then happily lend the hitchhiker any of these or a dozen other items that the hitchhiker might accidentally have lost. What the strag will think is that any man who can hitch the length and breadth of the galaxy, rough it, slum it, struggle against terrible odds, win through and still knows where his towel is clearly a man to be reckoned with. Hence a phrase which has passed into hitchhiking slang. As in, hey, you sass that hoopy foot prefect? There's a fruit who really knows where his towel is. Banged out my English teacher after graduation in her minivan in the middle of nowhere. We had gone for drinks and things went from there. She was married. Unfortunately for me, the van got stuck in mud and we called for a tow. Ironically, the tow guy was a firefighter who worked with her husband. Things went downhill from there. By downhill you mean they divorced and you kept fricking her, or OP was brutally murdered by the fire department. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will sleep in a trailer.